Thank you all for coming tonight. This is a great night to take an opportunity both to reflect back and also, obviously, look forward to what can be. My name is Avi Zellman. I'm a graduating senior in the Jewish Studies department.
Yay!
Thank you. I was born just across the state in Spokane, Washington, and have always considered myself to be a very proud American Jew. I have to say, with a name like Avi, I was forced at a very young age to consider my identity and how Judaism played a strong role in shaping it. Even in my elementary school, I had friends and teachers who would turn to me as the 9-year-old as the leading voice for all their Jewish questions. I didn't obviously always know the answers, but I have to tell you, by high school and being surrounded by only 7 other Jews in my 2,000-person high school, I was certainly getting a lot of opportunities. It's often challenging hearing some of my friends' beliefs about Judaism, and I can honestly say that I actually missed out on a date or two because of it. Yet, one of my favorite coaches of all time, Mr. John Wooden, said it very well, as you should be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are. So when I came into the University of Washington, there were literally hundreds of opportunities for which I could focus my studies on. And I really took it as, this is a great time to try out something different, something new. And what I found is I couldn't focus on one thing. So I settled for pursuing a liberal arts education. What that meant was really delving into anthropology, international studies, business, environmental studies, really everything under the sun. Of course, why? Because life is not divided into majors and disciplines. Life is knowledge and experience put into action. So the hard part was finding out that I couldn't do all these things just on their own. There had to be some unifying factor, unifying thread, if you will. And what I found is that my unifying thread was Jewish studies. So it still amazes me that after 3 years of trying to find something different, something new, it really only took me a matter of moments to come back to Judaism. And where I had once questioned the centrality of Judaism to my life, again, as soon as I embraced the opportunity, I feel like I am all the more better for it. And again, as Abraham Joshua Heschel said, wonder rather than doubt is the root of all knowledge. So using this unifying thread, I've been very lucky. I've had the opportunity to work in a lot of different environments, both domestically in the United States as well as abroad, whether it's in El Salvador, Israel, and Thailand, sometimes with organizations like American Jewish World Service, and sometimes on my own. And in each of these situations, I was able to take my studies through the Jewish Studies department here and apply them to greatly different topics, whether it was politics, poverty, or again, environmental studies. So in 2007, when I had the opportunity to take advantage of a Jewish Studies travel grant, I was really pleased to be able to travel to Israel, study briefly, but more importantly, to work both within the Israel business community as well as within the Middle Eastern community. Because applying my Jewish studies background to those communities gave them a lot, much more meaning to myself then as well as to carry forward. Now, as I'm about to graduate with multiple degrees and really dozens of irreplaceable experiences, I'm taking the same Jewish identity into my work with Teach for America. And I think that by working to bridge the education gap in the United States and continue to consider my role as an American Jew, it's really fulfilling something that Rabbi Tarfon said in Pirkei Avot, which is, it is not your duty to complete the task, but again, neither are you free to desist from it. So obviously this was not a transition that I ever took on in solitude. And much more pointedly, it was a journey I took with the aid of many, many people. And so with that, I owe much thanks. First, obviously, to my friends and community, because they have been there to support me from day one. Second, to my teachers and the Jewish Studies Department, specifically Martin Jaffe, Noam Pianco, and Erica Lehrer, who was a former Hazel D. Cole Fellow here at the University of Washington, who inspired me with their words and their own studies, as well as continuing to encourage me in my own. And finally, obviously, none of this would have been possible without my own family, without my parents and my brothers, and really my extended family, whose support and love for me continue to make me into the person I want to be. So, as my Zeta, Nehemiah Knoble, my mother's father, said, in Yiddish first, if you will, "Vergiss nicht, wer du bist," which plainly means, don't forget who you are. So, good luck, obviously, to all of this year's graduates, and good luck to the award winners of this year. And thank you all again for coming tonight to reflect, and also to look forward this evening. Thank you.
I'd feel better if somebody puts those flowers over a little bit more.
Okay.
Thank you.